Hey everybody, let's talk swimming. So if you want to improve your swimming, which you should want to do that, for the several reasons. One, I've never met a single person that says, yeah, I want to come out of the water in more time so that I can be more tired and that so my triathlon can be slower, right? People will often tell me they don't really care about getting faster, but I've never met anyone that says, yeah, raise my hand, I want to be in the water longer and be more tired for my triathlon. So you want to become a faster swimmer, partly because it is hard, but if you apply yourself and you become a student of swimming, you become a learner of swimming, it's really not that hard to become a much better swimmer. So the first thing that we want, there's two ways to get faster. One is form/technique and the other is workouts. So when it comes to form and technique, if you have the opportunity to join like a master's program where they have a coach on deck that gives you really good feedback, that's probably one of the best ways to really radically improve your swimming. The other great thing you can do is get one-on-one lessons, even a lesson once every 4 weeks. If a great coach gives you something to work on and you work on that thing until you fix it, and then you come back to the coach 3 to 4 weeks later and you get another tip, your swimming will drastically improve. If you don't have access to that, then there's a lot of great videos, DVDs that you can buy or even rent at the library and watch those and figure out what you need to do mechanically to make your stroke better. You can also have someone take a video of you swimming and send it to me and I'll give you feedback, because the great thing about swimming is very sequential. You know, first you have to work on your breathing, then you have to work on your body positioning. Once you get your breathing and your body position down, then we can start working on what your hands and your arms do and the timing of the stroke. Once you get the timing of the stroke down, then we can start to work on how you get power out of the stroke, right? So it's very sequential. So it's just picking out that thing you need to work on first till you master it or get really good at it, and then we move on to the next thing. So technique, form, definitely you want to focus on that. You want to become a better, more proficient swimmer because that'll make you faster, it'll make swimming easier. When it comes to workouts, workouts are a great way to become faster. And I'm not talking about what workouts you do. It doesn't really matter what workouts you do, it's really how you do them. And again, it goes back to if you have a master's group, you could go to that master's group 3 times a week and you don't have any say of what the workouts are. You just get there and they make you do a workout. And that's my point. It's not the specific workout that you do, it's how you do these workouts. And what I mean by that is too often people go to the pool and they don't use a timing clock. And so they just kind of do a couple hundreds here, maybe a little bit here, and then they rest. And there's no rhyme or reason to how they swim. And they also are not focusing on getting faster, like on your 50s and your 100s. And that's what I've created this workout for. So this is the workout for me that I do this workout once a week, every week, the same week, this week in and week out, the same workout until I get my 100 pace where I want it. So for example, if I take some time off and I'm coming back to the pool, what I might find is that my 100 pace is maybe 122 per 100, 125 per 100. And then when I'm in my best shape, you know, I can get that down to say 115 per 100. And so I just start off with this workout and I do this workout week in and week out until I get my 100 pace down to that 115, maybe even slightly faster. Once I get there, then I start taking it from 100 to 200, holding that same pace, and eventually up to 6 sets of 300, holding that same pace. But you want to work on getting your 100 time as fast as you think you can possibly get it, using this kind of format, and then once you get it there, we'll take that pace and we'll increase the distance by still holding that pace. Okay, so how do you do this workout? Well, first thing, you definitely want to learn to use a timing clock, or you can use your lap split function on your watch. But the swim clock is the way that sort of swimmers do it. Triathletes a lot of times use their Garmin. I prefer the swim clock. So we're going to do a warm-up, and in the warm-up, it's not just doing, this is a 1,000-yard warm-up. It's not just doing the 1,000-yard warm-up. It's doing it with intention. So when your first one is 200 free, and that 200 yards, I want you to think about your stroke. And if there's one thing that you're working on, whether it's keeping your head down or how you breathe or your recovery or your catch, whatever it is, I want you to focus on what's going to make you a more proficient, technically sound swimmer, okay? 50 kick, you can do that with a kickboard. It's partly a rest. You can also do it without a kickboard. You can kick on your back. You can do breaststroke kick, butterfly kick. Whatever you want to do, you can mix it up as you go through there. Kicking on your back with no board will actually help your freestyle, so that's a good one. Next, you're going to do 200 pull. And all the rest in here, since it's the warm-up, is just 10, 15 seconds, whatever it takes to change over. It's not super critical what that rest period is. So you're going to do 200 pull, you're going to put a pull buoy on, and you're going to do 200. Again, this is a great time to really focus on setting your catch and getting a strong, high elbow catch and getting power out of that stroke while you're swimming slow. Then 50 kick. Then I want you to do a 200 pull with paddles. So you have a pull buoy, then you're going to put some paddles on. And when you put these paddles on, it's not to swim fast and hard. It's really just to figure out how to set that catch so that when you take the paddles off, you can try to mimic that feeling like your hand becomes a paddle. Okay? And then 50 kick. And then we're going to finish with 200 drill and then a 50 kick. Now, people always say, well, what drill do I do? And this is where you have to figure out what is the drill you have to do. Where do you need coaching? It's not that helpful just to give people random drills. Half the time they don't even know why they're doing the drills. Like you tell people to swim with fist and they're like, well, that feels hard, but I have no idea why I'm doing it. So you need to know the purpose of the drill. And again, send me a video and I'll give you some drills that are specific to the thing that you need to work on. And then as you fix that thing, 3 weeks from now, you can get a different set of drills to address a different sort of weakness in your swim. The main part of this workout is right here. And for some of you, you may only get through one set. This is 700 yards. So if people that can get in, say, 2,800 to 3,000 yards in an hour can easily get in 2 sets. For somebody that wanted to swim an hour, 15 minutes, hour 20, stronger swimmer that wants to get in 3 sets, you can do that as well. The cool down is just an easy 200 to 300 yards. I wrote choice here. In swim language, what that means, if you know some of the other strokes, this is a great time to throw in some breaststrokes and backstroke, mix up, cool down some different muscle groups. Easy swimming here. So the main set, 4 times 25 free, and you're going to take a 15-second rest. On these 25s, I want you to focus on a higher turnover rate, so getting your arms to come through faster. All right, swim, and these are not to be swam all-out effort where you lose form. What you really are focusing on here is holding your form and swimming faster with better form. But I do want you to focus on a higher arm turnover because most triathletes have a painfully slow arm turnover. And if you can start to condition yourself to have a higher, faster arm turnover, you're going to swim faster. Okay, so then we're going to move, and you can take maybe like a minute break after these. And then after these as well before we move into those. Then we're going to do 4 50s and you're going to take 20 seconds rest. On these 50s, I want you to, your arm turnover is not going to be as fast as the 25s. I really want you to focus on how you can get power and speed out of your stroke. And a lot of that's going to come with the entry and a nice smooth accelerated glide and a strong catch. Okay? So focus on becoming a more powerful swimmer, no offense, but not like a spastic swimmer in terms of just using all kinds of energy and letting your form go to crap. You want to really maintain your form and focus on your form and get speed and power out of your form, because when you do that, that's going to transfer over to your 100 pace and it's going to start to drop your 100 pace. When you're swimming these 50s, I also want you to pay attention to the swim clock. So when you're doing these 50s, I want you to be able to, if I ask you, what are you swimming your 50s on? You should know. You say, right now I'm swimming them on 48 seconds or 46 seconds. Part of that too is because I want you to start becoming competitive with yourself in that if you're swimming at 48 seconds, I want you to figure out through your form, or better push-offs from the wall, how you can get from 48 to 47 seconds to 46 seconds. This also comes into play because it helps you with your 100 time. Like for example, for myself, my goal is always to get down below 120 pace. Well, if my 50s are 42 seconds, and I double that, I know I'm at, what's it gonna be, like 125 for 100. I know that that's slow, so I want to work on my 50s and get my 50s, down to that 38 second 35 second. I know when I'm hitting 35 seconds because if you double that, that's 110. And I know that when I can hit 35, 36 seconds on my 50s, I can easily hit 115s on my 100. Okay? The big part of the workout, the hundreds, you can either do 3 or 4 of them. And you're going to take between 30 and 60 seconds rest. As you go on through the weeks, you can start to drop that rest even down to 10 seconds if you're really fit. But to start with, I want to give you more rest so that you can swim a little bit harder here. And on these hundreds, same thing like the 50s. Your effort's going to be a little bit lower because it's longer, but I want you to figure out how you can swim faster with better form, because swimming faster with better form is what's going to allow you to carry this into your 200s and 300s and eventually your races. Okay? So when you do these, you absolutely need to be paying attention to the swim clock or your lap timer. I want you to know, okay, I'm hitting these hundreds and I'm hitting them at 124 pace, and then as the weeks go on, I want you to figure out how you can bring them down to 123s, 122s, whatever your pace is. You can start off at 2 minutes, get them down to 155. Okay? And then the other thing is, the reason why I want you to look at every single repeat what the time is because I want you to know, are you able to hold, if you're start off and you're swimming 123 per 100, can you hold that? Or did you go 123, 125, 127, 132? That's not how we want you swimming. So when you're doing these repeats, and if that's the case, I would rather have you do them all at 128 if you can hit 128 every time. And this goes for the same when you come back through. If you're hitting 128s on the first round, I'd like to have you hit 128s on the second round or the third round as well. Okay, so I want you to be consistent, but I also want you to be consistently pushing yourself. And again, it goes back to knowing, it's like, okay, right now I'm doing 122s. And so that motivates me to say, next week I want to shoot for 121s. I want to get down to 120. I know I can get there, and you keep pushing yourself. If you don't look at the time clock and you don't have any idea of what it takes you to swim 100, how do you improve? What do you have to measure it against, right? There's a great saying that which we track improves. And part of it is just being aware of it, right? And so become aware of your 100 times and get your 100 times down to as fast as you think it's possible for you to get those down to. And even play around with it. Maybe you think you're at that limit and you're swimming 135, and maybe you get some coaching and say, where can I improve my stroke? To test it, see if you can get your 50s. 135 is a tough example. I think that's going to be 45, 47 seconds. So if you're swimming 135 hundreds, you're probably swimming like 53 second 50s. So if you're stuck there on that 135, see if you can get these 50s down to that 50 range. Right? No, that's not right. If you're swimming 135s, that'd be 47 seconds. So your 50 should be about 43 seconds. So when you're swimming your 50s at 43 seconds, see if you can get those 50s down to 40 seconds. Because if you can start getting your 50s down to 40 seconds and you double that, that's 120. So you probably can easily be swimming under 1:30. Okay, so if you think you've reached your limit there, see if you can push the limit on the 50s. Because if you can drop those 50s 1 to 2 seconds, it's going to show up in your 100 time as well. Okay, so that's absolutely one of my favorite key workouts that I have done years, and it's what gets me down to that fast 100 pace. And if you can get pretty close to or below a 120 on these hundreds, and then learn to hold that over 200s and 300s, your Ironman time is going to be right around an hour. Your half Ironman time is going to be about 30 minutes, and that's at the very top end of the field. But whatever it is for you, you may not feel like you can get there, but coming from someone who didn't know how to swim when he got into the sport, I'm telling you, if you become a student of swimming and you apply just technique, swimming is technique, it's not effort, it's learning how to move through the water, which is all form and function and technique. And if you apply yourself and you apply your brain and you think about in the warm-up how you're swimming and how you can become a better swimmer through using technique rather than just pure effort, I guarantee you your swim will improve dramatically. Okay, so that's the workout. If you have any questions, as always, hit me up with those questions. Thanks.